If you are comfortable in getting yourself out of comfort zone, that is one big thing in medical or any profession. If you're thinking about upgrading yourself, upskilling yourself, don't be hesitant to come out of your comfort zone. Unless you get your feet in the water, you don't know how deep it is. And experience that, it will leave you with lifelong experiences that will make you a much better person.
Do you think that's what's something that's led to your sort of success in progressing in your career, is your ability to put yourself in uncomfortable situations and then learn to sort of swim in those situations?
Every time I come across that something I don't know, I challenge myself. I'll be a better person tomorrow.
How do you do that practically? I feel like people have that, but then they quit or they give up because it's too hard. Like, what do you tell yourself when you're going through something like that? And it's quite overwhelming and quite challenging. How do you make sure you're persisting with it?
Most important thing is to get rid of the superego in you. Being a medical professional, we are sort of groomed into that, unfortunately, that to pursue as you are one of these superhumans. You are not a superhuman. I'm not a superhuman. I'm also one of those normal people living in this planet. And we all have good things, bad things. We all have strengths and weaknesses. Understanding your strengths and let them get stronger, and understanding your weaknesses and try your best to not to let them thrive. That is the most important part. With ego, superego I would call it, that is what destroys you. If you leave the ego behind, you always have that feeling to upgrade yourself. So when you do that every day, even now as a specialist, I see something that I don't know. It motivates me towards learning that thing, and not only learning that thing, but also to get that knowledge passed to someone else as well. So not to keep it to myself. And that makes me a better person if someone pursues it that way. And I do it every day. Even from the very first experience I had, I can give examples in my life. When I first joined here, I was started in one of the suburban hospitals in New South Wales. I had a situation where I couldn't get a cannula in a patient. I knew at that time you can use ultrasound scan for that. The emergency medicine ultrasonography was at very early infancy.
Right.
But there was an ultrasound machine in that particular emergency department.
Right.
I never done it before. But I took the machine to the bedside, and I thought I better have a look at the blood vessels, how it looked like. Not to do it, but to have a look at. When I was trying that, one of the senior clinicians came to me and asked, "Have you used this machine before?" I said, "No." So he said, "Don't use it then, because this machine is an expensive machine." I felt very upset if I had said, "No, I'm not a normal person." That moment I thought, all right, I will leave the machine, but I will become good at it. So that is the time I looked around, and lucky a moment, because at that time, that particular emergency department, there was one of the ultrasound gurus of the emergency medicine field working as an emergency physician. And I told him that I want to be good at ultrasound in emergency medicine. And he's one of the leading ultrasound gurus currently. And he took me in. It took about 1.5 years of relentless ultrasound sonography in ED. One evening he came to me and said, "Ange, you are ready." I asked, "For what?" "For the exit exam. Let's do it." And he took me to a bedside. He created scenarios. I went through that. And he said, "You're fine.
Wow.
You will get an email from the College of Emergency Medicine soon. And you are credentialed to do ED ultrasonography."
That's crazy.
And that is my one experience. And then the latest yesterday, I'm at work. And I was encountering a situation where a patient arrived with a low heart rate.
Yeah.
And then while we are assessing the patient, he went into rapid ventricular fibrillation,
Mm.
fast heart rate. His pacemaker kicked in
Mm.
and managed to bring the heart rate down. So it's programmed in that way. And then I took the report or recent pacemaker test, pacemaker check report out from March this year. It says atrial burden is 11% or 11.8%. And the resident next to me asked me, Ange, what is atrial burden? Which
I was about to ask that.
I had no clue what it is and what is clinical significance of that. I said, look, I don't know, but if I have time today, I'm going to read about it and I'll let you know what I learned. I had a moment to read about it. I opened up one of the leading cardiology source and read about it actually. And not only I learned it, and I went back to the resident who was dealing with another patient at that time. I told her, this is what I learned and this is the importance of it. So I use every moment to challenge myself and see what I can learn from it. Every moment is a learning opportunity, and every time you learn something new, you're upskilling yourself a wee bit, but you're a better person than yesterday.